Right then, this is Sharky from Shar-Kade. I'm just shutting up the arcade at the moment. I've been working on the Shark Pin, the virtual pin cabinet. Now, I've added some more playlists, done some extra configuration. I've also added the pin volume setup. So at about default, I've got it set to 60. And that means we can turn the mini amp up on the front if we wish, or then we can just adjust the volume as we wish from the actual pinball buttons and stuff. So I've got a hotkey, so if I hold that hotkey in and just press the left or right on the pinball flippers, it just adjusts the volume up and down. It saves us adding extra buttons and stuff. Just allows us to turn the volume up and down for certain tables that are a little louder than others, but for the standard, for the standard I've got it around 60%. It seems to be fine, the audio at about 60 and the amp up at about half. Now we do have other amps inside these. Now I am working on getting just a 1 amp that does all. It saves having multiple amps going in. Also saves on power, all that sort of stuff. There is a 7.1 surround sound amplifier I need to check out and test, because these things from China sometimes can say they support 7.1, but it's not true 7.1. So I'm going to get those in when I can and give those a test. Those will probably go on in next any new builds. We will also be redesigning the back box, because we will be just going for full DMDs. So there is a 4.3 DMDs, I think. I'm not sure if they're 7-inch or something like that, but the full DMDs will go for, and then just have the whole setup with that. Eventually, dude, I will probably do a full size pin. It's just space, time, all that sort of stuff. So future pinball, we've got that re-added back to the system. I've done some edits as well to make it look a bit cleaner, nicer on there. And there's still quite a bit of work to do though on this system. The pinball FX stuff, I have all the animated back glasses. Like I say, I've done all those for each and every game. We have all the DMDs and all that sort of stuff. If we just head back, we've got our Pinball FX2, Pinball FX3 there. We have our Pinball M, and I've also been adding animated back glasses and stuff for the Pinball M stuff, as well as the animated wheel arts for them. So if you see there, we've got a slight movement of the fire behind the actual logo. And I've also changed, I forgot the name of these, but the wheel itself. So I've changed that into a more horror theme. We've got the lava background there. If we head back, we have added a horror collection. The back box is wall mounted, dude. So the idea of having the separate back box is so you can separate the play field. You can move it around on the pedestal. You can actually lift the whole play field up off the pedestal, put it on your coffee table, and then you can play single play field games. Or then I'll have an option to then have the other games set in single play field and so on. So you'll have 2 versions of those games, as well as the single play field games, as well as the ones with your back box and all that sort of thing. So then you can, like I say, you can remove the play field off and play it on one single screen on a coffee table, and then you can just put it on back into position and then have it all in where it's mounted. So horror collection there. I've been adding the Pinball FX stuff and going through the different visual pinball stuff. So adding the different visual pinball tables, all the horror games from the Pinball FX tables as well. So we've got a nice little collection. I think 27 games at the moment. I know there's more visual pinball X tables to add, a ton more. I've just got to go through and find out which ones are the horror games and stuff. So I've got Dracula on there, Camp Bloodbrook, Chucky's Killer Pinball. We have Creature from the Black Lagoon on there. I wasn't sure if that was horror, but I did check it out. It is horror. Then we've got Dead by Daylight. We have two Dooms. We have Bethesda's Doom as well as this Doom. We have Duke Nukem's Shop Pinball, Freddy's Nightmare on Elm Street, Gremlins, Jaws on there. We have Monster Bash, Night of the Living Dead, System Shock, Tales from the Crypt. We have Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Thing, Walking Dead. The new Elvira, I'll put that under horror. It's more Halloween than horror, I would say, but I've added that into horror. I've also added World War Z. Then we have Wrath of the Elder Gods, but there's two versions of Wrath of the Elder Gods. There is the Pinball M and the Pinball FX table as well. Let's head back. We've got a Stern Pinball collection. This is a custom backglass I made up as well. Custom playfield and custom DMD. So we have our Stern Pinball collection on there. So all the different Stern Pinball games. We have our 50s collection. Can it, mate? It's everything's locked in place. I actually have this one bolted at the moment. So to look inside, I've got to take the bolts out, take the top of the playfield off, or get in through the back, mate. So the internals are though, so we have a mini ITX AMD motherboard, a high-end AMD ITX motherboard, 16 gig of RAM in this, but I think I'll be doing about 32 in the pin cabinets. I'll have to take a look, see if it's an upgrade, 16 or 32 gigs of RAM. They will come with the RTX 5060. This one actually has a 3060. The 5060 series will be for the 2K version. For the 4K version, it'll be the 5070 Ti. So it will go with the 5070 Ti series card. And then you have your Ryzen 5 CPU and stuff as well. We also have, I think it's Cleveland Summit, I forgot the bloody name of it. They build these little solenoid boards, so the flippers are always kicking on the solenoids. They're just always on, so you can always, you get that nice click each time you press the flippers, so you can use that in the menu as well as in the table and stuff like that. We also have the SFF set up in this one, but you can then purchase up to, I think we'll get about 8 solenoids in this in total. We're all limited to space. We can also set up the plumb as well for the tilt, so the tilt plumb can have that set up as well. I have that somewhere. I haven't actually put it in this one, but I do have the tilt plumb and stuff. You're all limited, like I say, because of the design of these units. These are more like a mini pin. So the design is shaped like a pinball flipper. So you won't be getting a full subwoofer inside these. I will probably look at a mini bass subwoofer that could possibly be entered into these. But I've just got to work out the room. For addressable LEDs, we may have some channels coming up these sides for the addressable LEDs, but you wouldn't get the full addressable LED setup. because we don't have enough room, obviously, for the LED display for behind the monitor. Like I say, it is a mini pin. It isn't a full-size pin cabinet. But we have our jukebox on there as well. So we can go through the different music tracks. We will probably be adding other jukebox collections on there as well, maybe a synthwave one and stuff. I'll take a look at my drives from Krisscoolmods. I'll take a look at those because he does have some coin ops jukebox stuff. So I may even add those as well. So you've got a different collection of jukebox stuff as well. And then you're not cycling through the sort of style of music you want. You then have the big collection, and then you'll have like 80s and 90s classic stuff and stuff like that. So you can just go ahead and choose those different jukebox collections. Let's head back. We have our favorites. I don't have any favorites added at the moment. But you can add favorites by the menu of this as well. So like I say, we have our 60s collection, 70s collection, 80s collection, 90s collection, 2000 collection, and then back to jukebox there. So I will re-edit this because this is a little offset from the actual wheel itself. So I can adjust that. That's easy enough done. So I'll adjust that so these flow around properly. But I'm just doing little final, some bits of finishing touches and stuff. There is some software stuff I do have to sort out on a lot of the tables. Mainly the Pinball X and the Pinball Future Pinball stuff. There's just a few things I've got to clean up and stuff, make it look nice, clean and tidy. Like I say, I will be probably going mainly, as default, is going to be the full DMDs. So this was just something I had laying around when I built the unit, but I will get rid of them DMDs. I'm not a fan of that DMD. It doesn't look as bright, as vibrant, as well as it's quite a stretched DMD. So I'll have to then go in and grab the full DMD images and just reset everything back up once I've got a full DMD set up. So the idea will be for the pinball drive as well, it'll just be community sort of driven. Any updates out like that can be put up on the Shar-Kade owners network. It'll all be, if people add new tables, it can then just add it direct to my Google Drive, and then we'll just keep things updated between where. And then if you have your own machine sort of thing, then what you can do is you can just grab what stuff you actually like, rather than having just everything and some stuff you don't like. So I'll have a nice collection of the setup itself. Let's have a look. I think Future Pinball, we've got around 350 on there, because I did clean up a lot of stuff on the Future Pinball. And then the Visual Pinball will have about 765 tables there. The Pinball FX, we have the full collection up to date. Full collection of the Pinball FX, so we have the full 137 tables, I believe there is. The max tables at the moment for Pinball FX. And that will all come free. The full official version will come with your Shark Pin. So your virtual pinball machine, you'll get the full free collection and future updates, all completely free. So we do have the new Xena on there. The newest one is Scared Stiff. So we'll have Scared Stiff on there. We've actually got a custom video back glass as well for Scared Stiff. I've moved these together as well. I've renamed them Williams Pinball, Elvira and the Party Monsters, and then Scared Stiff. So we've got those two in there. Those were added, was it yesterday or the day before? And I just guessed what the table numbers would be. It wasn't that hard to guess it. Basically, the next few tables, I think it was 196 and 198. No, 197 and 198. And I've got a new method of adding the Pinball FX stuff, the Steam version of Pinball FX stuff. So your full official Steam version, I have the an easier way than what Pinup Popper website tells you how to add stuff in that. They usually have a download file that you can download and stuff, but I've got a super simple way which I'll show off in a video how to literally add any new table that's about to come out. Even if you don't know the table number, you can sort of guess it, unless you change it to something obscure, some obscure number, then you'll just have to wait till you find out what that table number is going to be, or they update the website with the table number on there, and then you can just add it. It's literally just opening up your import file that you've previously used to import tables, and I think the first table, first and second table, you just rename them to what you want. So if it's table 197 or 98, you just name a table 198. You tell it the ROM number as well as just name the title of it. So you rename using Notepad++. You rename it in Notepad++, the import file. I think it's a Pop Games file. You just rename that in Notepad++, and then you import it, and then it'll find it as a new game. And then all you do is just make sure the ROM number is the same as the table number in Pinup Popper when it's added. Just make sure it's not like, say, 187, it is 197, 98, or whatever's next. You know what I mean? It's super simple. It takes seconds to sort out. It takes actually longer to type the name of the game in than to get it all added and stuff. As for the back glasses and stuff for all the Shar-Kade units, we will be everything will be animated back glass for the Pinball FX stuff, the Pinball M stuff, in the future as well. So I'll always be, any new stuff that comes out, I'll be doing an animated back glass for it. So that'll all come free as well for future updates. And then the if you wish to purchase my back glasses, my custom back glasses, I'll charge a small price. If you have a virtual pin cabinet, hit us up. I'll probably put up some prices on the website, and I'll charge a little if you have a virtual pin cabinet, if you want some custom animated back glasses for your own setup. So let's go ahead, just quickly load the table. So I do have the audio I've got to grab as well for these tables. Just there's two audio files I want to add for the tables themselves. Right. Let's turn this up.
Are you ready to play?
And I do have a change view button as well. So I do have limited buttons on these because obviously the space. But what I've done is I've done a hotkey. So you can then just hold the hotkey and then change view. That's simple. And then you still have your start. You still have your add coins as well. And then, like I say, you use your hotkey and press the pinball button to turn the volume up or down on the left hand side. So, like I say, I will be adding some more playlists. I'll probably do a kids theme as well. So a kids list. Hey Lemon Man. Yeah, so like I say, I'll add some more playlists. I'll do a kids one. I don't think there's much else. I think there's manufacturers like Stern and stuff like that. Is it Bally as well? Maybe add a Bally option as well, and just a few others. I don't want to go too daft. As for MAME games and stuff, probably not add those in the future. Might do, I don't know, maybe some shoot 'em ups might be handy. Just 3 button games, so you've got your left and right, and then you've got your shoot there as well, so maybe something like that. I'll take a look at a later date, but like I say, just keep it simple. I'll probably, like I say, add some more jukebox stuff, so more of the music as well, just different collections of stuff. And then obviously the main thing is getting a nice quality visual pinball tables. There is quite a lot on here, but I know there is some updates of the visual pinball tables, so I'll look at getting the best tables, a collection of the best visual pinball tables, and getting those added to the system as well, man. And I'll take a look at that mods, mate, right? But I'm going to leave it there. I've got to go home and send some stuff to customers. So make sure you like, share, subscribe to the videos, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch us all in the next one. Shar-Kade, good point, mate. I don't know if there's going to be room. Like I said, this is just my first throw together machine. The other machines, what I'll do is I'll come up with a list of stuff to add in these. Obviously we're all limited to space. I've got to be careful having certain things near the motherboard and stuff like that, having certain speakers near the motherboards and that, so it's got to be done right. Like I say, these are mini versions, so it's not going to support every feature. It's not going to have all the features. It is just basically a mini version of the bigger cabinets, which means small form factor means you've got to maybe lose 1 or 2 features, but it's still great bit of kit. With the SFF works really well on the system as well, and like I say, there's a few things I've got to test out on there, but it has most of the stuff. It has everything set up ready for toys. So if you want to add toys, you can do, as long as it's got the space to add them. You can add toys there. Like I say, I'll have to take a look, re-look at rewiring the system to then incorporate more toys to the system. But shaker motor, I might get away with a shaker motor and stuff. It's something I'll have to test out, mate. I haven't got a one at the moment, and I don't know if I've got much room in there with certain wiring that's had to be incorporated into the system. But I'll take a look, like I say. So, man, I'll catch you later, mate, and I'll catch us all in the next one. Bye.